Good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Tuesday, I think. It's our guest speaker session with our very lovely Sam, who's an NLP practitioner. She might need to give us all. I don't know whether it's the end of the month, but I think we're all feeling really crappy, and by the looks of the questions, we're all finding it difficult. I'm not too good myself, so probably very well timed, Sam. I will get and have a look at the questions. If you want to give a little introduction, I'd imagine most people have seen the introduction and what you do, but a little bit anyway.
Yeah, so Erica's question was, what is NLP anyway? So I can kind of include that within, because maybe she didn't see the last one. So yeah, I'm Sam. Since last week, and I didn't tell Chrissie this, so it still came up with, I am a Master NLP Practitioner. I'm billing myself as an empowerment coach now, because I think people can relate to that and know what that is instantly. Whereas if you don't know what NLP is, it's a bit confusing. So very, very quick, half a minute. So basically, I had fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome for 11 years. It got worse after 9 years. I did push through. I knew I was always going to have it, but after 9 years, it got extra bad. So basically, I knew I needed to find a way out, and I discovered NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and I recovered from fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome in November 2017 on the last day of my practitioner course, and I'm now a master practitioner, and I help people with chronic illness. There are other things I do as well, but that's sort of why I'm here. So that was my very... Are you impressed how quick I did that, Chrissie?
I am, actually.
When we first spoke, I did that in about half an hour.
What I was also going to say was that...
That's more for the people who weren't here last time.
But what I'm about to say is that what I would recommend, actually, is that you can actually look... All the people who weren't here who have joined since can actually search for your previous live, find your previous live in the videos at the top and watch it. So I'd recommend to do that. So this morning we have on live Amy, Victoria, Dale, Steph and Angela. And I know Vicky is at work, but she's popping in and out.
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. So, well, we the reason we were a little bit late coming on was partly because I literally got in at the skin of my teeth after seeing the client, but also suddenly we were getting all these questions, so I've just written the questions down. So only one I saw before, but the others I've only just seen. So I will bear with me when I intuitively know what to say, so I will say it as it comes. I think Erica's one, what is NLP, is a good place to start, because in my quick intro I didn't really mention that. So NLP, I won't. If anyone wants like a massive history on it, I can do that another time. But basically, it's all about. It concentrates on what you want, so it's very different from a lot of other things. Because I tried loads of things, which I'm sure all of you have as well, and most of them deal with the issue, and you have to analyse things. What I like about NLP is that it's all about the positive, and it's all about what you want. So it's focusing on what you want and where you want to go, rather than focusing on, I don't want fibromyalgia anymore, which was my goal, was always I want to be well and healthy. I didn't focus on, I don't want pain, I don't want fatigue. So it's kind of filtering for the positive. When I thought that we didn't have any questions, I prepared something all about positivity. So I think that might be something that I could cover next time.
Okay,
assuming Chrissie wants me to come back.
That's great. We all need positivity in our life.
So yeah, I mean, I will try and put a few positive things within my answers. But yeah, that really helped for me, because and I picked up on a couple of things within the group. When I think on Sunday someone wrote about it wasn't directly affirmations, but it was something you had to say something good about yourself, and I know that that's really hard, and I used to find that really hard, and now I find it easy, and I never thought I would say that. And it is just about reframing everything and thinking positively. And I think I'll maybe do a live on positivity, a separate one. So I kind of that probably hasn't answered Erica's question at all about NLP. So it's basically it's reframing and changing your mindset. So the reason that it helped me, and it helps my clients that have chronic illness and other people who don't have chronic illness, there seems to be a pattern, I think I might have said last time, of people I found in my experience with myself and others, that, and I'm sure that this fits all of you here who have chronic illness, that it's very typical with people with chronic illness that they are highly empathetic, so they hold on to everything, especially the negative things from themselves, what they say to themselves, from other people. And I found that I was holding on to other people's problems but not realising I was. And also high achievers. It's very common for people with chronic illness to be high achievers, people who put everybody else first rather than themselves. It's all these things. So it's all, NLP helps with all this because it's changing changing the neural pathways, basically. So how I used to respond to things, for instance, my son has anxiety, and that used to be one of my triggers to make all of my pain and fatigue worse and everything else. But I learnt to become a much calmer person, so I've got lots of tools and techniques that will help me, and actually I don't need those very often now because I use them so much, but I know they're there if I did need them, and so I'm much calmer and I live in the moment now, rather than I always used to worry about what was going to happen and was I going to be able to get him to school. This was a couple of years ago when he was in the height of everything and I was really ill, but now I just deal with it as it comes. So NLP has really helped me with all of those things. If that hasn't answered your question, Erica, then do just drop a note. I'm not sure. Is Erica on? Just drop a note and I'll try, and I'm aware I've got other things to cover, because it could be that we do a whole thing on that.
I don't think she is. Unless you are, I can only see who people's commented, Erica, so let us know. But we now have Rachel and Steph that's joined us as well.
Hello.
And Vicky, another Vicky. We have 3 Vickies.
Oh, okay. So we've got questions from Vicky and Victoria, but this is a different Vicky, is it?
Yeah, another one.
Okay, well, I hope that kind of gives you a basic. I feel like I'm kind of waffling, so
I said, they can check the videos. Very easy to find on the top of the group and watch the first one, because that would be quite informative. Oh, hello, Jane. How you doing? We've got Jane as well.
Oh, hello, Jane. Okay, so which question should we go with next? Well, Amy's on, isn't she? And she asked a question.
Yeah, Amy's on.
Yeah. So I quickly noted them down. So I haven't written all of the wording, but Amy, I think you asked whether NLP needs a top up because you've done a couple of sessions in the past before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to answer this, because of course I'm going to say yes, it does. For me, whilst I recovered and I worked on a lot of stuff, I got rid of loads of limiting beliefs, so different. That was November 2017. I work on myself all the time. I'm at an advantage to be able to do that. I don't just work on myself. I then did my Master NLP Practitioner last year, which, as well as learning on a deeper level to be able to help people much quicker, it also transformed me again. I've been on 2 practice days. I went on one on Saturday, which was with my trainer, and it was, it's always, I find that it's so powerful, and if it really helped for you, then yes, I would recommend, I would recommend doing it, but that's just me. I just love this stuff. I am so different, and it's helped me so much. That is why I love being able to help others and show them all the skills, and so yes, I would say.
So would you say it's something you need to build into? Is it something you need to build into your life?
Yeah, I mean, basically, like I said just now, that's kind of why I said it, in case I forgot to say it then, so thank you. Like I said just now, about I'm much calmer with my son. I used to have something that I could just instantly make myself calm, and I used to use it all the time. But now I am calm, and I've got other ways that I can instantly. So yeah, it's like everything. If it's useful to you, then you will use it. It's like with the positivity stuff. You have to work at it to start with. And when I'm with clients, if I do a technique with them, sometimes I say, oh yeah, you can do this. Sometimes the stuff that I'm doing, because it's linked with hypnosis as well, the things that I do with people, I'm getting their subconscious to do the work, so that's fine. But even now, I first started my journey. Those of you who have seen the previous live, you will know this. February 2016. And even now, sometimes I have to remind myself, or I was overthinking my business a few weeks ago. As soon as I came out of my head and into my body, that was my main thing, that I just overthought everything, worried about everything. Everything is now happening, and it's just reminding yourself. So even though I've been doing this stuff for a while, I still have to remind myself. But once you start changing for the positive, you then want more, and so it does, and you choose which bits work for you. Like there's certain things that I do with clients that I know that they really help lots of people, so I know that but different thing, like with chronic illness, that everybody's different, everybody's symptoms are completely different, and what people do are completely different to help them. Different things help different people. But yeah, and I was going to say this at the end, but as we're talking about Amy now, and I did ask Chrissie if it was okay to say this, I offer half an hour consultation for anybody. It's completely no obligation. So if you do want to find out more about NLP, or more about how it could help, or you've got specific things, then do just message me. I'll put my links at the bottom. And yeah, that's totally fine.
That's a free consultation, isn't it?
Yeah, Sam? Yeah, a free 30-minute consultation. I can do it over Skype, Zoom, whatever. I don't have to come and see you. But I like to be able to see the person rather than just speak on the phone. So yeah. So Amy, I would say, I hope that answer. I feel like again I was waffling a bit, but
I just think it's something that you've got to. I think a top up is quite a good word, actually, Amy. I think it's something you need to keep doing in your life. That's what research I've done. I think that's something you just need to keep doing in your life.
Exactly. If you find something that works,
keep doing
then keep doing it. And if you want to have a consultation with me, that's great. If you've got other people that you have the top up with, then that's fine. But yeah, you don't need to have one. But if it works for you, then I would keep going and keep doing it. And all the techniques you do every day, they are part of my life now, and I do them automatically. It's only certain things I then have to think, okay, what would I do with, I forget to coach myself, I coach other people. So I then think, okay, what would I recommend to other people? So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a quick look. Angela says, NLP is a brilliant tool to have. Steph says that's true. Jane says, hi. Carly is on. And Amy says, that does. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant.
So should we move on to the next one?
Okay. So, well, as you said, Angela is on. Let's do Angela. I'm jumping around the questions. But,
no, that's okay.
So, Angela's... Sorry?
I said that's okay.
Okay. Angela's, again, I might not have the wording all written down, but the gist was, how do you recommend fulfilling your orders when illness flares up? I also think that that's quite similar to Victoria's question, was how to manage extreme exhaustion that comes with chronic conditions. So when Chrissie and I were going through these questions, I jotted a few things down, and actually I would say similar things for both. So if it's okay to kind of lump those two together.
Yeah, of course it is.
So Angela, fulfilling your orders, I'm assuming you mean from your crafting business.
Yes. So
when illness flares up. Now I know maybe I should research this and look you all up on Heartizan, but I don't know how big your business is, Angela, or whether you have other people working for you. But it's one of the things that I found hardest, and I'm not a crafter or anything, but I can relate it to everything that I do. I say I'm not a crafter. I am very crafty and very. I don't mean it like that. That sounds wrong. I do. I am really creative. I just don't do it for a living. Yeah. So how I can relate it is one thing that is really hard when you have a chronic illness is delegating, especially, if we're all high achievers and we want to be able to do things ourselves. And so if possible, and it might not be possible, Angela, if you don't have anyone else working with you, but if you do, then is there any way that you would be able to delegate some of the things? Or even if you don't have anyone working with you, is there someone that could help you with, I don't know, but would there be anyone who could help you to lessen the load or just make it easier, even if they're not actually working for you and helping you, but maybe someone else can do certain bits? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and if not, maybe they could have longer lead times. Not that you might have to use them, but you could write that into your Heartizan shop and say, on occasion because people like to hear your story and know about you, that I get illness, and occasionally it may take longer, and it may take 4 weeks instead of 2. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I've got help, use the help.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that actually, that, as long as people are aware that you have chronic illness and it might take a little bit longer, and that was really good what Chrissie said, actually allowing longer time within there, which you may or may not do already, Angela, but I think people, although a lot of people don't like chronic illness, I think people are becoming more aware now. So I think if you're honest and, you just say, actually, I have a lot of orders and I'm actually having a bad time at the moment.
And people understand.
I think people would understand, and they're paying you because they want a personal, they want that thing that's created by a person. It's not, that they're not having, that they could go and get something, made it manufactured and stuff, but they're paying for that personal service. And so they, I think people do understand. It's like, you can relate it to, sometimes I go to like a little shop and it will say, due to family illness or family bereavement, it's shut. And, I don't ever think, that's a shame. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You just understand. I think, that's a shame for them. I hope it opens soon. So I think people would really understand. I know it's really hard when you are someone who really, really wants, you want to be able to do your best. Another trait of people that I find who are more likely to have chronic illness is perfectionism as well. I've had to learn that it's okay to be good enough. Now, obviously, within your craft trade, you do want things to be perfect, if you're selling them, but it is that thing of, well, if it's going to take me an extra week, but I'm going to get through this flare-up, then that's what you need to do. You need to do what's best for you. And whilst obviously you need, you need the income, and so you do need to be fulfilling the orders. You can't fulfill them if you're having constant flare-ups because you're not resting and pacing, which brings me on nicely to Victoria's how to manage extreme exhaustion that comes with chronic illness. Can't read my own writing. It's all about, and again, no one thing helps everybody, unfortunately. That's why, there are so many chronic illnesses and so many different things that help, because some things help others. It's all about pacing and resting, and know that it is okay to rest. I'm fine. I rest and I give in to things all the time. When I was ill, I didn't, because I thought I had to prove to myself that even though I was so ill, I could still do things, and I pushed through. There was a question about pushing through, was there?
Yeah.
I used to push through and then crash completely, rather than thinking, it's okay to rest, it's okay to do this, and then you can get through a little bit easier. And so I know with CFS you have to give in to exhaustion. I had fibromyalgia and CFS, so with fibromyalgia, you have to push through it a little bit more, and CFS, so every so often I would be pushing through and then just what. And so I understand that, exactly. But yeah, it is about resting and pacing and knowing that that's okay, and asking for help, which kind of goes in with Angela's as well. Knowing that it's okay to ask for help, and knowing, and this was actually on my 10 top tips for positivity I was going to go through with you, knowing that it's okay to say no. So if you are, if you do have extreme exhaustion, well, I know that you may have exhaustion and fatigue all the time, but if it goes extra extreme, it's okay to say no. It's okay to ask someone else for help. It's okay to put yourself first, and that is one of the key things for me, that I hadn't realised that I was allowed to do that, and it's taken me a few years to realise that it is okay to do that. Even though I'm well now, I still have to remember to do that. So I hope that helps. Was there anything you wanted to add to that, Chrissie?
No, I just read what we've got. Rachel says it's a big thing for me too, so that was the same question. Victoria or Toya says, do you hear the D word there, Chrissie? Now that's delegation. That's delegation to me. Oh, yeah. Because I'm not feeling well myself, and they're like, delegate. So
I will say, all these things I'm saying to do, I have techniques and I have ways that I can help you to do these. So I'm not expecting you. I'm saying, oh yeah, do that. I'm not expecting you to be able to straight away do that, because some people can automatically do these things. My husband, I'll touch wood here, he's never had chronic illness, but he always rests. It's always frustrated me. I will give him lots of jobs to do, and then when I was really ill, I'd be pushing through, thinking, why is he sitting down having a cup of tea? Why is he resting? And I'm pushing through, and it's because that's his way of being able to do all the things and still feeling okay. And he'll sit for 20 minutes, and I used to be pushing through thinking, whereas he had it the right way, that he knew that it was okay, okay, I will do that, but I'm just going to have a sit down first, because that was his way of resting, not because he had chronic illness, but because that's how he did it. So it's learning that it's okay to do that. And as I say, I've got lots of techniques and hypnosis, I was going to say, techniques and things that can help with this. It might be that maybe if people were up for it, on one of their lives, I could actually do a deep relaxation thing with everybody, but obviously only if people were sitting watching at home and not just listening while they're driving or something. I don't want that responsibility.
Most of us are at home. Carly says, I give customers a longer time than I actually need, usually an extra week, and then if arrives early, they're happy, surprised. Yes, that's brilliant. Amy says, I take power naps in the afternoon to help through the day as my meds wipe me out. Victoria says, grumpy husband.
Actually, sorry, can I just interrupt, because it will go out of my head. What I used to do a deep relaxation. I if I can find out a way how I can put it onto the group, would that be useful? It was one when I first started my journey, and I hadn't done meditation or anything like that. It's a 15-minute progressive relaxation, and I used to find that rather than sleep, I used to do that in the afternoon, and it would just get me through. So would that be useful if I put that in the group?
Yeah. Victoria says, grumpy husband, don't always like it. Rachel says, I have to do this too, especially on making days. I'd imagine that's lead times. Angela says that helps a lot. And Victoria said, but he's good most of the time. That's her husband.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I'm ticking everyone off. Okay, so I'm going to go to Samantha now, because it's a cool name. No, that's not right. All the names are cool.
We've got a few Samanthas too. Victoria says she meditates every day.
Samantha, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So Samantha said,
I don't think she's on.
Oh, okay, but she's going to watch it on replay, isn't she? And it might help people, and other people will be able to relate to this. So I didn't write it all down, but the gist of it was that she's never open about her condition, her chronic illness. She doesn't have anything on her Facebook page, and she's not sure whether she should just tell people and how do you push through. Well, we've kind of spoken a little bit about pushing through. So Chrissie and I were talking about this before, because we're both very open people, and I always told people I didn't have it on Facebook. Like, I didn't, like some people, they'll have, I'm a chronic illness survivor, you know. I didn't have it on there, and I probably talk about it more now, because I use that as my selling point on Facebook, because I am my own walking advert for what I do, but also because a lot of my friends know how ill I was before, and it's like that achievement, wow, I can do this. So I probably do that more, but it's a lot of, on Facebook, there's a lot of things that flash up saying, like there's one I remember I always used to put on every time it flashed up, with someone who has, like, for fibromyalgia, there's a picture of someone with bruises all over them, and it says, this is, if you could see my condition, this is what it would look like. Yeah. And that one, it used to really, when I looked at it, it used to really make me hurt more, because that's exactly how I felt. But I put it on because it's more awareness of people knowing that actually I might look fine, but this is how I feel on a constant basis. And I was also always very open. If I was talking to people, I would be open and say, you know, just to let you know, I've got chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, more just in case I had brain fog when I was talking to them, or in case I needed to rest. So it wasn't from a sympathy point of view, which kind of touches on what I'm going to say about Vicky's question about supporting others. It wasn't a sympathy point of view. It was more, I want you to know this just in case I can't remember what I'm going to say. Now I realise that that's just me, because now I don't hold stuff in my head. I forget things, but, you know, it's not brain fog. It's very different. But, so it's more so that other people have awareness. And whilst a lot of people will then forget, the people close by, I always felt it was really important that they knew. You know, I didn't throw it in people's face. You know, I only said it if I felt it was necessary for me to say it. And so I hope that helps, Samantha. And as I say, if you do want to chat to me off of here, 30 minutes, it's fine. But yeah, I think it also helps people to understand, if you do put yourself first and you have to cancel things, you know, if you're having a flare up and you can't feel that you can push through, then people understand more. Because I had a friend who I used to cancel things, and she was really awful. As soon as I had a diagnosis, I didn't have a diagnosis, I was just really ill. As soon as I had the diagnosis, she was completely different, because she totally understood that it wasn't because she'd taken it personally that I was just cancelling. Whereas if people know that actually you have a chronic illness, and if they don't know about it, you can tell them roughly. You know, I personally found that really helped.
I think a lot of people with chronic illnesses goes through with the friend thing. We've all lost friends because of it, and it is a very distressing thing. Let's just see what they've said. Amy says she used to meditate, but Herbie meditates more than she does. Rachel said she needs...
brilliant, actually. I do it every morning without fail. On a day I don't do it, I do it on waking. The day I don't do it, I really feel it. It's really helped me. But then it doesn't help everybody. Some people aren't relaxed with it. So it's really counterproductive. But
okay, so Rachel said she needs to start meditation again. And that she stopped when her depression got as bad as she couldn't relax enough. Yeah, that is a difficulty.
Yeah, but it is, because I used to find when I was given loads of, because I did, before I got extra ill, I did sort of dabble with it, and then I would think, oh no, I don't want to do it, it's not very good. And I used to find it hurt me so much to sit for 15 minutes to do it. I couldn't do it. I do my meditation lying down for that reason now, and not because it hurts me now, but because it hurts so much that I did start doing it lying down. So you do whatever works for you. You know, I would find it. Some people, they just sit on a cushion with no back, you know, nothing supporting their back, I would find that uncomfortable, and so I wouldn't be relaxed. So for me, I press it in a chair or lying down. So you just try it. I mean, I'll put this, it's a progressive relaxation rather than a meditation, but I put that on, and actually I would recommend Calm, which you can get an app on your phone. I would show you, but I'm using my phone.
I bet we're all aware of that one.
Yeah, so there's Calm, which I've used, and the other one, Headspace, is quite good. I stopped using that because with Calm it's just 10 minutes, and I found with Headspace it went up to about half an hour, and I couldn't find the time to do half an hour. That was before I was into it. I probably would now, but I find now I just put music. I've been doing it so long that I just put music on and I just meditate to music. And any mindfulness thing, even if for the people who don't like doing it, so just see what you see and notice what you hear, and that kind of thing. It's just as good. So you do whatever works for you.
Okay, I'll just carry on with this then. I start. No, I've got that. I am very open because I want to. Right, so Victoria's talking about sharing to her followers about her chronic illnesses, and she's very open because she wants to spread awareness of her conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of which are quite rare, and it also starts that we've talked about this before in different lives, that know, like, and trust thing with your customers, so they start to understand, relate, and trust you.
Exactly. I mean, I've always been a very open person. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I'm probably in some things too open, but I think that I agree. Was that Victoria or Vicky that said that? Victoria. Yeah, I agree with Victoria. That your customers are gonna, I think if you're really open with them, they are just gonna appreciate that and be more understanding. And that goes back to Angela's thing as well. With if you did have a flare up and you needed to then say sorry, the order's gonna take another week, then they would be totally understanding, because a lot of people will be in awe of you anyway, that you're producing all these beautiful crafts, isn't it? And you're doing all of those with a chronic illness. So I think that's
and Amy
great.
said that's why I hate telling my story. Oh no, that's why I hate telling my stories. I feel people feel compelled to give me sympathy but don't want to feel that way. But it's inspirational, Amy. You'll find you inspire people, and you'll also find that a lot of people know people like us, so they already know about it, and they're like relate to you straight away. So I wouldn't think the opposite way as well.
No, and also I'm gonna answer Vicky's question about supporting others, because that will help with all that as well. Because Vicky said that she didn't have a chronic illness, but she knows lots of people with chronic illness. Sorry, slightly distracted that my husband just sent me a text. Get rid of that. And she wants to know how to support them, and so it's all about awareness, and you want to be believed. I had lots of people who, because I put on Facebook that I was taking my kids out and doing all this, not that they didn't really believe me, but they thought, oh, you must be fine. They didn't realise that actually I was pushing through, and that whilst we had a lovely day on there, they didn't see what I was like afterwards when I got home, because I did push through all the time because I wanted my children to be able to still do things. Now I'm well, I don't push through, and I don't feel I have to take, but it's that proving that you can do it. And so for me, I wanted awareness, but I didn't want sympathy, like we've touched on just now. I just wanted people to be there if I needed them. And so, Vicky, I'm sure that you are supporting your friends by being there and just trying to understand. It's really hard if you don't have, if you have never experienced chronic fatigue, chronic pain, everything that goes with it. It's very hard for someone to understand. This is why I've ended up niching in this, because I've actually gone through it myself. And so, I totally get it and I totally understand. And it's really hard for someone to actually know what it's like, but just knowing, as someone with a chronic illness, when I did have one, just knowing that someone is trying to understand and trying to know. That just made me feel great, because I knew that they had my support. I knew that if I did need to cancel, they would totally understand. What I didn't like was when I got extra ill, I had there was one lady who, funnily enough, her daughter had CFS, so it was a bit weird that she would do this, but she'd come along and she'd go, "Oh, Sam, how are you?" And and I just thought, I don't want that sympathy, and it would make me feel like really, and she didn't mean it like that at all. And I think a lot of the time, it's people, they don't realise that actually, if you have that kind of, "Oh, poor you don't want that. You just want people to be there and be aware. And if you want their help, you'll ask them, but it's just nice to know that you've got that support and that they're understanding, and they're there if you need them." That's what I really appreciated, rather than that, kind of, "Oh dear, poor you, how," that's not useful.
Yeah, and also to educate yourself as well. So actually do some research and find out what these things are is helpful, because then you can have a discussion with your friends. I'm going to go through this because we've done 35 minutes, so I think...
I had no concept of time.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So that's why I hate to know... Oh, no, I've read that, sorry. I can relate. Rachel says, I can relate to that, but I think it's more understanding than sympathy. Yes, that's exactly what I said, understanding. Yeah. I actually tell people that I don't need sympathy, as this is my life and I have to live with it, but I do need people to help spread awareness and understand. So it's all about understanding.
Yeah,
Hi, Trina.
I used to say that as well, actually.
Trina's just come on, but we're just about to finish, so you have to catch the replay, my lovely. And Amy says, I'm going to try and pronounce this right. I have shamanic drums for meditation.
Shamanic drums, yeah.
Shamanic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephanie.
See, I didn't even know what shamanic was until the last year and a half. I've become all aware of all this spiritual stuff. And shamanic drums, I was talking to someone about that the other day. I've not experienced it myself, but really, really good.
No, I'm going to have to look that up. Steph says, since I've been with Heartizan, I feel I can talk about everything. Feel very grateful to have this bench. Thank you very much, my lovely. So did we cover all the questions?
Yes, I've got ticks all on my page. So I'm wondering whether next time, if there's more questions, that's great. I have got positive things. I did throw a few of them in there, but I would quite like to do
I think that'd be awesome
on positivity and affirmations and things like that.
Yeah,
if we have questions, then obviously you don't have to wait until Chrissie puts the thing up. You can message me the questions or just put them under here, so I will check on this. And for those who just popped in, just to say that I will put my website and my Facebook group on there. I know some of you did Facebook friend me last time. If you want to friend me on Facebook and then you want to be added to my unique coaching page, then do ask me and I will add you to that. I'll invite you to that. Oh no, I didn't mean that, because you can get into that from my profile. I also have a group which I do need to post into more regularly, but it's specifically for people with chronic illness. That's a closed group, so if you want to be joined to that, then friend me and then ask me to join you, because I won't automatically join you. And if anyone wants a free, no obligation 30 minutes with me, then just drop me a message, and we can chat.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. My brain's really crap lately. Oh, we do themes every month, Sam. So next month is all about sharing your story, so we can do some positivity around your story sharing as well. If you can bring that in, would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. So so next time we'll do positivity and around sharing my story.
Yeah, visibility.
and how you could share your stories in a positive way as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your words of wisdom with us. And
I hope it's useful.
And thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll be back in March sometime. We'll get together and find out a date for March. Do you want to do it the morning and the evening one again, or do you want to just keep it to one? It's up to you. I'm quite easy what you want to do.
I I don't mind. I mean, if people have any, I think last time when we said that, people didn't really have a preference, did they?
No, because some people are around in the day and some people aren't.
Yeah, it might, unless people want a fixed, always the same, we could maybe do an evening next time and then a day the time after.
Okay, yeah.
Because people can always watch it on replay, can't they? So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, have a great Tuesday, guys, and we will see you soon. Bye.